Hey, how's it going? I am going to read some cards today. For real this time. Oh, excuse me. Oh, here. Please look at my signs. Plugged in. There you go. Whoa. Okay, so the the last recording I made, I know I didn't say I was going to do any cards, but they were there. I mean, I always had the option, and I just didn't. Okay, I'm just going to ignore the fact that my clothes are sideways. You can ignore it too. Come on now. Okay, there we go. And so, but the day before that, I think I said I was going to read some cards, and then I just forgot or something. So I have some, and I pulled them from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. Oh my gosh. I have to do something about my area. It is incredibly, here it is. This deck. It's getting kind of messy up here. The cat wanted to come up and there was no place for him to jump, which I don't actually mind that because I don't need to be cleaning the counter and going through that many bottles of spray cleaner. Anyway, and then I pulled a card from Messages of Oracle. Nope. God, I never can get it right. Messages, right here. Messages of Cosmic Oracle deck. You know something about this deck? There it is. This deck here. So when I ordered it, okay, I guess I'm just going to be croaky today. When I ordered it, I think I talked about this before. I thought I was clicking on a higher self deck because that was what I was looking at, and that's what I was reading. And I did not get. I just read you the title of the deck that I actually got. It doesn't say anything about higher self. So I was just on Amazon because I got some kind of notification, and you know, they want you to review stuff. So I went to look and see what was on there because I didn't remember what I ordered. And there was a card deck, and it was entitled, the title of it was what I thought I was clicking on, and I don't know like where the mishap occurred, if it was like, if it originated where the deck came from, or if it is some sort of Amazon error. But I was like, I didn't get my review was, I didn't get the deck that I clicked on. So yeah, it is, you know, it works, it's fine, thank you. Goodbye. Like, but the thing is on the review, it said it was the thing I thought I was ordering. And I'm like, wait. So that's why I left that message. Maybe they'll pick up on the fact that, because I did say, it also says here, not what I got. just so everybody's clear. Oh, I should have taken a picture and sent it. Oh well. The final parting words that I had was, but you know, it works, it does what it's supposed to do, it's fine. By the way, the wrong deck is fine. Sorry, you're not the wrong deck anymore. You're very good. I enjoy your help, thank you. So I don't really have much that I was aiming for to talk about. Let's just see what the cards are talking about. So the first card I got from the Shaman's Dream Oracle is Netcaster. I think I need to turn on more light for you so you can see the dang cards. So here's the Netcaster card, and it's got a figure of a woman, it looks like, wearing a big hat with a big old floofy flower on top of it or something. And the point is that she's got the net and she's throwing it out into the water, which, for the purposes of what I'm doing right now, let's just say it's the water of what's happening, what's going on. And she's throwing it out the net, throwing it out there to catch something. Could be she knows what she's after. I will read the subtitle on this card, and it is Preparation Come to Fruition. So what's coming to mind now is like the ocean equivalent of gathering nuts for the winter, basically. So gathering fish for, to be ready. In the water, God, like fish are ideas. Okay, the fish are ideas. That's fine. I mean, that kind of works with what I was saying anyway. They're floating along in the general consciousness stream. Ooh. All right. Calm down. The next one was the Stranger. Oh, that was the number 42 card for your information. This is the number 53 card, and here is what it looks like. This guy is also, look at that, hunched over a pool of more water, searching for something, seeking some sort of answers, or either trying to forecast something, foresee something, or set something into motion. But they also have to use the water as a lens to see what they're dealing with. So going out and, just catching what you need, make the fish anything you want. You make it food, or you can make it be an idea, but it's something that you're reaching out for and that you're having to gather up just in case, just to have on hand. And so this guy is also like using the pool for whatever they're doing. They're making preparations in advance for what they're expecting to come along as time progresses, and I'm sensing a theme here is what I'm getting at. So the subtitle on this one is Curiosity. Both of them, I guess, reaching out and not sure what they're going to end up with. Stay there, please. Then the next one I have is the Farther Gate. So I was about to say it's more of what is being projected, like what you see ahead of you, but also you appear to have gotten there. And I don't know, I need to look at this some more and see what else is going on here, because I know that there's another card here that not only looks similar but has almost the same feeling of having reached a place that you were, like, that was your intended destination, like you finally got there, like the place you want to be. And they're just very similar. So the subtitle on this one is The Farther Gate, and there is a literal gate there, which is interesting because Uh, oh, you know, I was gonna say interesting in water, because if you look, the gates are faint, but if you look there, you can see them like little filigrees or loop-de-loos or whatever you want to call that metal work. So then there's like one side and the other side's here. Oh, so there's a structure in there that looks like, you know, where you want to end up. That's like X on your map. And if you look, put your gaze down, I was thinking this was water, but it is a road, because that's not a boat. That's a house. That's an estate. And I mean, you could have a gate, a water gate, but it just makes me think of like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland. Like, not real. Although this could be standing in for like that projected future that you see for yourself, or the travels that you have to make. And like, to me, this is like an end of the travels kind of thing. You got, like, maybe you're in a tunnel, because check out this hole or whatever in the ceiling there, and just light blasting through, like whatever was behind you. It almost seems like you came out of the dark. It's pretty dark over here with the lights not blasting. So I don't know, maybe this is just signifying you've been on a journey and you still have a ways to go yet to get to your final destination. I'm not talking about the movie where everyone ends up getting off. You actually, in this scenario, you are meant to get there and from there proceed further. Like, it's not the end. It's not the final destination. It's just the end of the road on this trip. So, in order to make your way on the journey, this, I think, is what you have to do to sort of maintain the fiction that you're keeping alive as you're on your journey, you know, through the darkness out into the light. And I don't want to make that too ominous, you know. I mean, interpret it the way that you are going to interpret it. I guess that's just going to happen regardless. But I'm saying, I'm not trying to give it a like a boo spooky feel at all. Like, it's just life, you know. It's ups and downs. It's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, you know, but you make it through just fine, you know. You can more than make it through. You're not crawling on your belly in most cases through the desert, you know, having escaped some kind of captivity. You know, you can usually punch out at the end of the day. It's not that bad. Don't get too dramatic. And so this is the number 25 card, and this really like rings true to me, and or for me. And the subtitle on this one is Rest and Renewal. And I'm excitable, okay? Let's be honest. And well, here's the thing. Like, there is a lot going on in the world that is kind of turbulent, and it's like stirring up a lot of emotion and a lot of other things in various places. Like, the way that things can be separate and yet still affect each other is highly at play right now. So, I mean, it's just like a rash of stuff happening everywhere, and people are having reactions or responses, what have you. but feels are happening, emotions are happening, and it's like a big deal. And changes are happening that people don't necessarily want to make. Like, oh, we got changes. We got a whole list of changes that we've been trying to institute for years and years and years. But, it's not as popular as the other stuff, the other kind of changes that are also struggling to come into being. So that's interesting, and I guess it's going to keep being interesting for quite some time. And when all of that's going on, it may in some way directly affect you or not, and yet it could still affect you even in a pretty significant way, even if it's not personal to you. Like if some kind of, here's an example, the Roe v. Wade thing. Like, I know people have their reasons for being for it or against it. All I'm saying is there was a lot of people that really appreciated it being there. They weren't all just the women availing themselves of the medical treatment. Not always a termination, by the way, that a woman would go in for some sort of woman care. That was a big change, though, like having that there. It wasn't all of my life, but I remember when it started. I mean, I remember when it was instituted and what a big deal that was. That had some similar feelings of happiness and relief and joy that the current Democratic presidential nominee selection is gaining, and has just caught fire with a lot of people. And this is not the way I'd like to elect my politicians, but I really don't want the Republican nominee. Like, didn't want him the last time, don't want him now. So yeah, I'm pretty happy too, like that the other person seems pretty popular, the other people I should say, because the reason why I'm not going into details is because I don't have to. There's a million gazillion YouTube channels talking about this stuff, not to mention TV, newspapers, whatever, telegraph, smoke signal, pigeon. It's everywhere. Like, you don't need another person. I don't need to detail it, because if you don't know, then fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What was I saying? So, I mean, that's just like one example of things going on. Just talk about the good old USA right now. Not even trying to touch on the other places. Not my place. Hands off policy as much as possible. Here I can trip over myself and put my feet in my mouth and feel more comfortable about it. But more things going on than just that are just as, sets the emotions aflame just as much. So, we're all kind of awash in that right now, and it does affect us to varying degrees. And so I also have been going through some stuff, and even how I've been feeling about what's been happening with me personally is I just want to stipulate here, if you've been watching previous episodes, I don't want people to get the idea that I think that I had no part in the hostilities or whatever that brewed up recently. But I sure didn't have that attitude until a certain phrase was said to me, and I was like, oh, hell no, what? Then I got an attitude. So I just want to say, I have had that in my head the whole time. That's part of why I am always talking about it and all, oh my God, going over it and over, and it's I'm just working through it myself. And you get to come along with me, but it's not like I'm doing anything unique. Everything that's going on everywhere there is right now in a way has an effect on everybody else. So, that whole everything is connected business, or to put it another way, quantum entanglement, however you want to comprehend it, it's kind of all of that. So, anyway, I react how I react. Don't judge me, please, much. I know it's really hard. It's like a reflex. Because, we all like go through stuff the way we go through stuff. And I'm absolutely not saying anybody has to do things just the way I do. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. Look for that. Or that works for you. Back on track though, yeah. So like more stuff like that coming, and then like be ready to deal with it. Be ready to use every skill you got. For some reason, surfing came to mind, which I'm really bad at. I can do it on my knees. Anyway, but that could save you. Anyway, just like grasp up any skill you have to like be an acrobat and or like do something atypical, like what is the word I'm looking for? Asymmetrical, because things are changing, and I'm really happy about that. Although I'm also, I guess, kind of like, wait, I like that part, don't change that. So it's kind of like you gotta like accept the whole deal or nothing at all. But ultimately, anything that you come to terms with, feel better about, get through without injury, to use, just as a general term. I'm just saying you might get your feelings hurt, or like you might have a, ooh, that was close situation, but you want to just be able to maneuver and go with the flow, even if the flow is not flowing, like even if it gets all like chunky and having corners, like, I don't know, like whatever skills you got. Why? Anyway, I don't even know. Because I don't know what stuff you watch, but like the spiritual stuff that I watch, particularly the people that are themselves like just a channel of everything, they don't just channel a being. They're like, they have the psychic, they got I'm talking about Kalima Molnar, but she's not the only one that have like the light language, or maybe they can see auras, or just like they got like they upgraded their contract for this lifetime or whatever to like max, and these are the people that I'm hearing, watch out for changes, or even the people that channel like other entities, angels, whatever it is. Like everybody's like, stuff's coming, get ready for it. Like you use all of your skills that you've learned, like do your deep breathing, do your meditating, right stuff, like everything. They're like, get ready. And so with the recent election stuff and the Roe v. Wade stuff, I think I got an idea, like that's what we have to be ready for more. And like they just keep saying, there's more coming. I know that one has been talking about at least a decade more of some turbulence, but it's going to end. So I'm hoping there's going to be a peak and then like a downhill, a descent from the heightened aggression and just, when little kid is overtired and they just become so obnoxious and obstinate, they're like, I'm not gonna go to sleep, and I'm not gonna eat, and they're just like, they're never gonna, and if they can curse like in their way, they're just up and down cursing you out, and then that's what I feel like is going to happen with, I think that people are, like, all of the anger that people have and all of the, I don't know, like, I guess there's two speeds, and it's fear and it's love. So fear's got like the anger and the aggression and the wanting to hurt people and separate and, you know, remove things from them or remove them from places. Just sort of all of the dark, the negative side of things, like the the world of and like the opposite of that would be love, and that's accepting, compassionate, vulnerable. You want to be like a part of a team that builds up rather than a team of demolitionists. So, you have to tune yourself to that, and I'm talking to myself a whole big percentage here. When things happen, when things come along, you got to remember to use those skills, even when things are not flowing and they have corners. And you, like, I really got to batten down the hatches, because I'm so much better, though. There's no way that I can convey that, because you're not in here with me, but trust me, that's not going to make anybody believe anything either, but trust me anyway. And I prefer to be in the love column anyway. It's funner, it's lighter, it's easier. Oh my gosh. And we tend to have an inability to be able to see, like, from our columns, let's call it. And I get that happens. I don't know how to, like, make it better, except to just agree to not agree, like to accept what you don't accept, because that can happen, you know. That's like with, you know, you go into a store and there's cigarettes sitting there and they're like advertising at you, and maybe you used to smoke, so there's some temptation, but you can also just be like, yep, all of that, hi, cigarettes, and keep on going, and then see you later, cigarettes, when you, like, you don't have to, you know, pick it up and start doing it again, you know what I mean? Or for the first time. So, yeah, I still have some work, but, you know, I achieve it sometimes, and practice makes perfect. But, you know, just using myself as an example there, stuff happens to us all the time that's all sort of attending to a number of things in many cases, like when anything happens to us. But and now I forgot what I was gonna say. So deep, I got lost. When anything happens to us, it is an opportunity to use our skills, not scales, skills, to not freak out. In my case, like, I don't know what your deal is, what happens to you that you're working on, but this is mine. So, and I have found the more conscious I am of that, the more consciousness I have of that in the moment, the better I do. And like I said, I can't show you my work, but I was actually, even though I'm, the problem itself has for the moment been, you know, taken care of. But in the long term, it still needs to be dealt with. But I can say that while it was happening in the moment, for one thing, so much holding back was being undertaken by me. No one will ever know. No one will ever understand how much. No one will ever be able to see. But trust me, it was holding back a lot. And even like I wasn't angry like at the people I was dealing with, especially my doctors, because why would I be an asshole to people that I want to help me? But there were other dynamics in play, and that's another thing that I think that we can sort of be aware of. And this is another one of those things that's difficult to illustrate for other people. But I think there was a total level of, this black person does not know how to behave. Let me tell her how to act in the situation. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but bitch, I'm like 20 years older than you. You ain't telling me nothing, because I know I did not go in there and, as my ancestors would say, act a fool. Like I said, I need help from these people. I'm not going to be in there. And this was the other thing, too, that was on my mind while it was happening. It was like, after the case, actually, not in the moment. Because in the moment, I was just like, oh, please help me. I just need this to work. Like, I don't want to have an argument. Here's what we need. I know I'm doing it. After the fact, I was like, you know, if this was a business, then the whole dynamic between us would be different, this interface. But because it's my doctor, they have like this authority that I have to yield to, because they know stuff that I don't know. And they do, like, get that way with you. And so there is a dynamic that I try to ignore it. I try not to give it life, but it's the racism thing. And so one person here that I wasn't directly dealing with just was blatant about it. It was like, I ain't working on no black person. And he used the N-word. I'm not going to use it because they can't demonetize me because there's no money coming in, but N-word anyway. And I'm like in the hospital. I'm like, oh great, I feel better now. Get this guy away from my room. So, you know, it's there in the medical community, but I don't know if people are aware of this, but apparently there's some kind of idea that the medical community has had for, like, probably its existence, that black people can take more pain. And I'm like, how the hell do you know that my pain is more or less than that person's because I'm black? If I can handle more or less pain, well, for one thing, it depends on what kind of pain, but for me personally, if you have brain tumors that they can't take out and that are just there affecting things in my brain, and I've had a headache since they appeared to one degree or another, like the gift that just is forever giving. Could have taken a lot though, so I'm thankful that did not happen. But, like, it's known that women can handle more pain than men. That is something that I think they can get empirical evidence of. I don't think there's any way they can prove that, like, it's because you're black that you can feel more or less pain. That is, I think, dependent on the individual. Like, think of the men and the pregnancy thing, like, or the women, sorry, that was not what I meant to say, like the male pain and the female pain, like, supposedly it's been documented that women can take more pain. We don't like it, it still hurts, doesn't mean we should just have to have more pain because we can. Or is that what medicine is turning into now? I don't know. So, and I really didn't want to believe that still persisted, but I actually have talked to a doctor of mine, not like the other day, but like a few years ago, and he was like, oh yeah, people still really think that. And I was like, well, that's disheartening. I thought they were smart people. They would have you believe they are. Sorry, I don't want to jump down doctors' throats. But, and see, like, that's another thing. Like, that's another hump that we collectively need to get over, is thinking like that. That there's differences, but let's be real clear about what they are and why they are. And also, like, you got to get your opinion out of it. Otherwise, it becomes fairy tales. So that seems like something that's going to be on the map on the way to the 10-year ending of all of this. It's just, I don't know, difficulty. And honestly, I personally don't have a lot of, so far, issues with anybody about stuff. Occasionally I do, but it's not like, I don't know. It depends. And it's not like ever even a big deal. And it's usually not so blatant, but there's been a change in the air over the past like year or so, or maybe just after COVID, where people are just understandably, especially in the medical community, out of patience, but they gotta like deal with it. They gotta deal with it too. Like, I don't know, a big thing of mine is like, man, we gotta treat each other better, like just in general, period. Everybody, for any reason ever, just always. Like, it would just, I think, be better, you know, if we cared more about like not hurting each other, because we can and we do it all the time and we often want to. Like, maybe we should stop doing that all the time. We can get along better. And so that leads me to the last card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, the number 3, and it is Benefactor. And you see there, the subtitle is Grace and Generosity, which is sort of like the last thing that I was just talking about, like just kind of, can we give each other a break and I mean, just get off each other's necks with the separating and the banning and now I'm losing my words. But all of the things that make us sort of, the canceling, which is, you know, it's not even, I don't even know like what the big deal is, because supposedly when you're canceled, you're gone. And you know who truly, like, if they're going to be honest about what they're saying, if you know who truly got canceled, was Kevin Spacey. Dude couldn't work. His name was dirt, you know, or mud, like whatever the term is. He was like no bueno, no persona non grata. And if you're gonna call it to anyone, if you're gonna call someone that, or you know what I'm trying to say, if you're gonna try to say that it happened to someone, it happened to him. And in that context, yes. But all these other people, like, I don't even remember. I mean, it might have been like the Daily Show or something, one of those late night comedies that I was watching, and they were talking about oh yeah, I think it was Jon Stewart actually, because he was hollering and talking about people complaining that are getting canceled because they can't say stuff, with all of their books and television appearances saying the stuff all the time, like going on a book tour about getting canceled, saying it. So I mean, we have genuine things that we need to deal with each other, and drumming up that fiction is why. I don't understand. Somebody needs to do that, needs to have that. But this, I think, is what we can all look forward to if we do this, rest and relaxation, and give ourselves the ability to deal with whatever we got to go through to come out of the darkness into the light here. And as a result of this, all the way back at the beginning, whatever we caught, we developed and we dealt with, and used to our advantage. And here's the end result that we don't like, right? After the end of the declining part of that 10 years of the cycle, which is a 30-year cycle actually, that will be ending, and it will be so beautiful. I cannot wait. And we can give that to ourselves. We can give that to each other, because you know what's going to make it happen faster? Not like the people that want, like, I think they're the Zionists. I haven't looked this up. Shame on me. But I think they're like the super Christian people, like usually on the right here from America and probably other places that, and I don't know why Israel welcomes this, but what they believe is that if they can help Israel get to the place where some sort of Armageddon happens, like some kind of big reckoning on people, I'm like, why are you messing with that? If you know that's coming and you got it from like the Bible or something, why are you trying to rush God's work? Like, you know, what are you doing? And I think, well, why do the Israelis go along with this? Because what I do remember of it is, for that prophecy to come true, that means a bunch of Israelis gotta die and lose their land that they're currently canceling Palestinians out of the way to get onto. So, yeah, that kind of that broke my little brain wishbone. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason, because everything is connected. But it's true. Dang it. It sounds all crazy, but that's real nice. Pick out one crazy thing out of crazy everything crazy. What are you talking about? Crazy? So the last card I pulled is from, oh, the wrong deck. The Messages of Cosmic Oracle cards. This here, I got one. And it says, what has your inner voice been asking of you? Listen and act. Well, I'm going to answer that first. I have been having a hard time, again, meditating and even getting grounded. It just seems like I can't seem to find that right moment or like start doing it, and I just keep getting interrupted or something. Like, it's just like, I don't know, circumstances keep trying to get in the way of it, but I just keep trying to do it anyway, and then I do a little bit here and there. And what I'm getting at is the inability to quiet down and sit still for long enough makes it really hard to hear those inner voices, because sometimes I think it's not just you, you know, like, it might be like a relative that's passed on trying to impart a piece of wisdom to you, or a guide, or an angel. Like, I have to go through the whole I need like a little slate to pull out with the whole list of all of the sort of paranormal people that could be talking to you in a helpful way, though. But you know, mainly what I'm referring to, and it's not exclusively this, but it will be something people are going to be familiar with, and that is the still small voice of God, which, I mean, for me, it's not really been like ever, I'm here. God. But you get inspiration, you get like puzzles solved, you know, riddles unlocked. I think that is specifically what they refer to, although I could be wrong about the little tiny voice. Maybe somebody does hear that, and more power to them. But I think this also speaks to not paying as much attention to all of the loud stuff around you, because what I am also hearing a lot of is turn off the phone, turn off the platforms, go outside, talk to animals, talk to trees, unplug basically. And that's something I try to do every day, especially if I go take a ride for exercise, which I usually do every day. And so those are my outside moments. And then I can get outside here where I live a little bit, and there's a couple of places in the neighborhood where I can kind of lurk near people's homes, and they know that I'm there to enjoy the garden or the, scent of their trees. And I don't feel like I have to like keep moving because I'm a stranger just lurking. Like, these people know we've communicated. I feel comfortable being there, which is nice, because the places that I've chosen to do that are extremely calming and relaxing. And I do, like I was telling my friend, this one day, I was out there and it was warm, so I was at this place where the woman has a garden that's pretty extensive and beautiful, and it's on the route that I take when I exercise, so I usually wind down there because it's a straight shot from their place across the street and into my driveway where I live. So it's like perfect wind down place to do it. And then when it's warm and the flowers are blooming and everything, it's like such a nice scent. It's just a nice experience, okay? So I was there one day doing that, and the top of my head, which is where your crown chakra is, I said that it felt like my head unfolded like an artichoke, because that's what it felt like. It was just all doop, 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 like just all these flaps opening up. And I was like, okay. I mean, I fully recognized what it was. I wasn't fearful of it. It was just funny that that phrase came to mind for it. But that's how good it can be to, I don't know, like get out of your home, which probably has a whole bunch of 5G spewing devices and other things that they're plugged into to make them do what they do. Like, I know I have something sitting over there on my desk to make sure that I can have internet and Wi-Fi, I guess I'm paying for also, but the thing that's over there is for internet, I guess. And it's not an Alexa or anything like that, but I feel like it listens anyway. I'm not really sure if that's the truth, but maybe I'm paranoid. Maybe it's not wrong to be. Maybe I need to take a drink of my tea. Ooh, that is really sweet. So, yeah, I think it also speaks to, all of the noise around us, even if it's not something being broadcast on your device. We just all need to go to a quiet place for our own sanity, really. And I guess I am done. Thank you and good night.